Good morning, sir.
You're most welcome for today's interesting lesson on simple machines. Before we look at our today's lesson, which is simple machines, I would like us to have a recap of the lesson we had last time. Last time we looked at what we call work, energy, and power. Now, this morning when I was coming to school, I met an old man. Besides him was a bag of clothes. And I saw him struggling to lift up this bag, but my shop he successfully lifted this bag and put it at his back. Why do you think that man was successful? What would have happened that made him to lift that bag to be put at his back, according to you, Mesa?
This by the help of the energy he had.
Excellent. It is because this man had applied what? Energy. Therefore, how would you define energy? Because that man was able to lift up that bag. How can you define energy based on that scenario?
Energy is the ability to do work.
Perfect. Therefore, we defined energy as the ability to do work. The ability to do work. Now, work, this is also another thing. Work. Who can remind us of the mathematical expression of work? Mathematical expression of work in terms of force and distance. What will be the mathematical expression for work? The mathematical expression for work, yes sir?
Force.
Work done is equals to force times
distance.
Perfect. Now, I would like you to continue studying about what we call force, distance, so that you can distinguish them from the rest of major concepts we have in physics. Now, to continue with this, we also learned about what we call power. Now, for you to define power, you must know about energy. Now, you must know about what? Work done. Now, why was this man in the scenario I gave you, why was he able to lift his bag? It is because he had applied what we call what? Power. Therefore, we're going to say that power is the what? By definition, power is?
Power is power is the work.
It is the work. Good try. Anyone who can try? Alright. Power, we said that it is the ability. Is the what? Ability. Why this man was able to lift his bag, to put it at his back, it is because he now applied what is called what? Power. The ability for him to lift that bag to his back is what we call what? Power. The ability to do work. Very simple. So this is what we learned last time. However, today we have what we call simple machines. Now today we are going to learn about what we call simple machines. Now, in our daily lives, we are ever fond of using machines. Simple machines, basically, they are categorized into, machines, basically, they are categorized into two, that is simple machines and the machines are basically categorized into two. We have simple machines and we also have what? Complex machines. We have complex machines. So for our study today, we are going to look at simple machines. in our daily lives, there are tasks that we do that always simplifies, that are always simple, and that always simplifies things for us. Now, at a bar, actually I went to a certain bar, and this young man, there was this one young man who was struggling in opening the bottle top. But an old man, for him, he used something to open the bottle. Now, what do you think did that? Why do you think that old man was able to easily open his bottle top compared to that young man who was unable to open the bottle top? Why? It is because the old man had used what? Can you speak louder? It is because the old man had used a simple machine. Thank you. Because the old man had used a simple machine, which is it? Can you speak louder, please? Speak louder. Because he had used what we call what? A bottle opener, which acts as a simple machine. Therefore, I would like us to define simple machine. Simple machine. Now, this actually this morning I went to town, and as I was moving around to check for what I should buy for myself, I met this old man. This old man was struggling in lifting a weight, lifting a luggage into a truck, but he was unable to. This other young man from nowhere appeared with a system, and this system assisted this man to lift his luggage into this big truck. Why do you think, Meshach, why do you think this old man was able to now lift his luggage into that truck after he was offered a system? Why do you think he was able to?
Because he used a simple machine.
Because
that simplifies
excellent.
His work.
He used a simple machine which simplified. Perfect. That's
His
the word
work.
I was looking for.
His work.
It simplified his work. Therefore, how can you now define simple machine? If that man had used a simple machine which simplified his work, how will you now define a simple machine?
Simple machines are machines. No, simple machines are tools which simplifies work.
Perfect. Now, we are going to look at the categories of simple machines. Categories of simple machines. Basically, we have three categories of simple machines. In a village, in this village called Sudan, there was a young boy who is ever fond of going to a well to fetch water. This one morning, this young boy went to the well hungry, and he tried pulling the bucket of water directly from the well, and he pulled it out with a lot of difficulties. Now, not knowing that a system was installed on top of the well, which will simplify for him the work to lift it up. And after he discovered that, he was able to lift the water easily from the well. Why do you think this young man was unable to lift that water at fast with ease? Why was he not able to lift it with ease? Why was this young man unable to lift it with ease? Mesa?
Because he does not know the use of the machine.
Perfect. He didn't know the use of the what? Machine. Now, possibly, which machine will you advise this young boy to use so that his work can become easier and easier?
I could advise the boy to use a pulley.
Excellent. Therefore, one of the category of simple machine is what we call what? Pulley. Pulley. Now, pulley system. Now, and in a bar, a drunkard found a difficulty in opening a bottle. Okay? A drunkard found a difficulty in opening a bottle. Now, this young boy who was fresh in mind, he instructed him to use a tool to open the bottle with ease. Which tool do you think the drunken man could have used to ease his work?
He could have used an opener.
An opener. Perfect. He could have used an opener. Under which category of simple machine does an opener belong?
Levers.
Excellent. It belongs under, therefore, levers is one of our categories of machines. Therefore, we have one more category of machine that we must have to mention. Class, at your homes, you have ever burnt bricks, right?
Yes.
And you have ever offloaded the bricks from what? From the foreign. What do you normally use to offload the bricks from the foreign? What do you normally use? In our land, people oftenly put a timber to act as a what? That timber acts as a what?
A slanting place.
It acts as a what?
A slanting place.
Can you speak louder?
Slanting place.
Sliding
Place.
planes, so that you roll your brick over it, it will simply come down, other than throwing the brick to somebody directly. Otherwise, if throwing a brick to somebody like this, you realize that later on, you may throw that person down off, or that person will cast the brick with a lot of what? Energy, will apply a lot of effort to what? And energy to cast that brick. At the end of the day, at times, the person's hands may break. And therefore, how can you categorize that a plane may be that whatever you provided, you actually provide for your what? You actually provide for your brick to come down. Under which category of machine will you classify it?
Inclined planes.
Perfect. It is what? Inclined, because it has been inclined. So we have inclined planes. Excellent. Therefore, for today's lesson, we are going to measure in pulleys. We are going to measure in pulleys. Here I have a chart for you. I have a chart here for you. I would like you to study this carefully. And you are going to answer the items given below it. In your various groups, I know you have only 9 groups in this class. So each group is going to discuss these items, and then you must present them for marking before the close of the day. Otherwise, thank you so much for your audience for attending the lesson of today. Have the best of your day. Bye-bye.